How did we go with bait?
You forgot.
Zach's found himself a nice little spot there. I reckon he's got that feeling. Snagged again, mate. We had a little incident, bent all the bloody poles and made a real mess.
We got a car in there.
Yeah, very stark. I'm not sure what these boys were thinking. I think Max Tracks is going to sort his problem out. G'day, how are you there? Diesel and Hurley here from Getting Around Oz. Kent Patrol Travelling. Thanks for clicking on the video today. We're heading up north of Perth for a bit. I jumped on Google Maps and I've actually found a little spot there on the beach we're hoping to find, which will be a free camp, but I've got no idea whether there's going to be anyone there or not. It is a long weekend here, so we could be in for a bit of a surprise. Yeah, so the plan for this trip is to air down, do some four-wheel driving, get on the beach, do some fishing, and we've got a bit of a cook-up plan tonight. It is quite warm at the moment. The winds have died down. We're hoping to have a nice one. So if you haven't done it already,
Like and subscribe.
and I hope you enjoy this one. We managed to find a spot here which wasn't expected. Bloody beautiful. I reckon old mate stuck up the top of the hill there. Yep, he's stuck. Sometimes you just want to tell a grown man off. We're heading down the road here to camp. However, there is a spot that I do want to check out for lunch. It's about an hour north of Perth. Something there that's opened up a little while ago. I haven't checked it out. Myself and Neats have been trying to get there for the last couple of months, but something always seems to get in the way. We never seem to get there, so it's 12 o'clock here now. We should get there around 1ish, I reckon, but I can't wait to check him out. Alrighty, so we have pulled into the Moore River Brewery, or Moore River Brewing Co. I did make the assumption that this was in Gilderton. I actually drove in there. I just assumed that's where it was, but unfortunately it's on the south side of Moore River, so it's about a 15-minute drive back out on the main road, a couple of k's south and back in here, and we got in. It is there's quite a few people here. It's only been here a few months, I'm pretty sure, so we'll drop in over. Well, we need to sample what they have on tap and quick snap, and also was telling Hurley I've heard these guys have some amazing chips, so yeah, let's have a look here, see what it's like. Alright, we're here at air down location here, so where we're going, it'll be boggy in spots, not so boggy in others, but the reality is I would like to not have to worry about airing down again, so we'll see how we go here. Okay, so found a spot. It wasn't much of a spot, it was more a turning spot. But we drove on a bit further and a couple of spots that I'll point out later were taken by half a dozen families. But I might have found a little spot here that's one of those spots that's a risk, but it might be awesome if it comes off. So just trying to back up here. I can block the wind and we can have this sneaky little spot that is right on the beach but protected from the wind. What do you reckon? Is that right?
That is perfect.
All right, I'll come out and have a look, mate. All right, stuck in here. Just having a bit of a look around now. This is what I'm looking at. See what I mean by we snuck around here? Just trying to get a visual of where things might sit. And there's the beach right there. Camper there, toilet there, set up here. Bloody beautiful. Alrighty, so we've arrived at camp. We're set up, been here for maybe an hour or so, just chilling out. It was well, driving in we didn't sort of show you all of it, but well, the camera died and the drone got flat and we didn't want to hold people up, but there's quite a few four-wheel drive tracks around here. So tomorrow we're gonna jump on a few of those. We did jump on one little spot and steering wheel flung around wildly as I tried to negotiate and got out of a bit of trouble. So we'll have another crack at that one tomorrow and a few others here. So didn't find a spot that I wanted, but definitely found a spot that is very cool and it's definitely unique and not something that, oh, I definitely haven't camped at a spot like this in quite some time, and not something I've ever shared with you on the channel, or probably only once actually. This spot here is just one I want to keep to myself, and I was in a similar area to this maybe a couple of years ago, and I was sussing out a couple of spots about where I am now, thinking maybe one day I can come back and actually try that spot out. And there's a massive sand dune up there behind me, as you can see in the backdrop. So massive dunes up there. We managed to find a spot here which wasn't expected. I thought we were actually going to settle on a spot, but we thought, I said it earlier, said, all right, do you want to camp here or do you want to keep looking, try and find somewhere a bit better? And he said, no, let's keep going. So that's what we did, and found a spot here. Managed to, so basically the winds are south-southwest, which is terrible for fishing. So unless it dies down in the morning, we're not going to be able to do any fishing tonight. But fortunately, that meant I can position the car where it is there now. So it's blocking the wind behind us there. Yes, it's a bit windy when you're going to go out and use the toilet or the shower, whatever, but right here, there's no breeze at all. It's completely blocked off. I slide around here. Right there is the sun behind me. All this here is blocking the wind. The beach is just the other side here. Let me take you out for a look. So got the old Outback Sapphire 180 awning here, which was ideal for us because it means we can set up on the side here out of the wind, whereas we've had to set up around the back there. We will be copping a bit. So kitchen is set up, got the mat out, chairs out, got a couple of guy ropes out on the awning there. Don't have to worry about legs. If I haven't said it to you before, it's definitely a good idea to take a bag with different types of pegs. So using these big buggers here, they got these from BCF. They weren't cheap, but sand pegs are the go in actual sand, to be honest with you. Like screwing pegs or any of that sort of stuff here in the sand, they don't work there. Got them in the mat. I got them in the shower tent. I reckon old mate stuck up the top of the hill there. Yep, he's stuck. Let's go right up there, he's stuck. Well, they'll give us the often any help, but there is a few people around here, and I reckon unfortunately he's gonna have to dig. There is another flag there, so I feel like there's someone else up there. So this is us here, nice little mat there. That's the stretcher for the swag we'll get out later. A couple of deckies, got the old gas cooker, got the old speaker set up for some tunes, 180 awning there. Got the toilet in there at the moment, that'll be a shower later. Shower's just down there. So this is us here. A few guys up there in the dunes having some fun. One guy's stuck, other guy's trying to work it out. Guy just fanging around a motorbike. See if old mate needs a hand here. I hope he doesn't, because I don't want to have to pack all this up again like we had to last video. But anyway, it is what it is. We'll see how we go here. It's obviously quite some time later. This is one of these things, if you're my type of age, right, sometimes you just want to tell a grown man off. Fortunately, old mate we were watching him, right? He got out, he got himself out there. The guy was there on his own, and he got stuck. Got out his 2 max tracks, got himself out, but then he came back to get his tracks or past where he got bogged, and he got bogged again. And then there was other people there. There was like another car, another group of people on bikes and stuff, and what do you reckon they did? They just watched the poor bugger and then they pissed off. So I said, hang on mate, I'll grab some, obviously didn't want to unpack. Well, been the second weekend in a row that I've had to do it. So I grabbed some tracks off and said, all right, I'll grab the tracks off, I'll come give you a hand mate. And then another a crew down there, like same thing, one bloke out of 2 carloads of guys came down to help this poor bugger out, digging and then I asked him about his air pressures, and he hadn't aired down at all. At this point, I'm pretty frustrated because clearly I've got the young fella here. It's around, I think it was like 5:30 when this happened. I'm about to get him, start cooking him dinner, get him dinner sorted for him. But by the time he bloody let his tyres down, he was very stuck and he wasn't getting out. And meanwhile, as a dad, I've got a young fella. I'm trying to, thinking, shit, I've got to get him fed. He's going to start getting cranky, and I've got to look after him. And those types of parenting things. And then his mates rocked up, and that's where you'll see the footage of the other car coming up and hooking up the winch and get him out. And about finally time for myself to have some dinner. Helly's a bit fussy, so chicken nuggets and chips was to go for him. Chuck them in the air fryer. So the one we use camping is a 1300 watt air fryer. About 20 minutes all up. Looking at the battery at the moment, it's at 78%. So remember, that's the iTech World 240 X. So it's 240 amp hours. So even running the air fryer 20 minutes, here's a batch of power on. So what I grabbed for myself was this lamb shoulder butterflies. So got some it's this Larry the Larrikin lamb rub. Picked it up from somewhere, I don't remember where, but
Jesus.
there we go. For tonight's cook up, using the Coleman, it's a 2-burner grill. It also has the centerpiece there as well, so burner left, burner right, and centerpiece more just to use for a extra bit of heat. It does come with this thinger as well, which is, it does come with a hot plate essentially. We have used this in the past for bacon, eggs, a bit of sand and stuff at the moment. But you can see here as well, I got the swag set up on a stretcher here. It's well, I think it was a Spinifix stretcher and just the old June swag. So if anyone's wondering whether there's much of a difference between sleeping on the swag on the ground or sleeping on a stretcher, I'll let you know in the morning, because last weekend we did on the ground, this weekend we're doing the stretcher, and I'll be able to bloody tell you. Oh, Helly's just jumped into bed here now, and like, it is 9 o'clock after all. This one here is little Farmer Jack special. It's I think it's cheese and bacon pasta salad. It's absolutely fantastic. That's us for the night here now. We'll catch you in the morning. Well, good morning. It's an absolutely lovely morning here at the moment. Just a slight breeze. Doesn't get much better than this, to be honest with you. Last night I actually slept with the flag lid open. Just the fly screen was fantastic. I haven't done that in quite some time. The air was just perfect. It's nice and dry, and well, here we go. Crumpets are ready for Hurley here. So, hey Hurley, do you want butter with your jam or just jam in your crumpets? And yeah, overnight was just a little bit of breeze, nothing much at all, really. Oh, you got to come out, mate. How'd you sleep, Hurley? Pretty good? Really good, that's the shot. She had a pretty average sleep myself, unfortunately. For some reason, I think I woke up around 4:30 and that was it for me. What I noticed there when I had the drone up there, looks like there was a car stuck up in the dunes there.
Again.
Have a feeling they might have been running around last night, and thought, we'll come back in the morning and have a crack at it. But today I can actually see a bit of pinstripe on the car. It's the first bit of pinstriping it's ever happened to it since I've had it anyway. So kind of breaking her in, so to speak, on this trip. Using the stretcher versus sleeping on the ground, massive difference, absolutely massive difference. How'd you find sleeping on the stretcher, mate, as opposed to when we put the swag on the ground?
Right.
Massive difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you find sleeping the swag's a bit rough, get yourself one of these things. It definitely makes everything a bit nicer. All right, breakfast and a bit of a freshen up sort out here. In case you're wondering, we have been asked about it before. Shower we use is this Sanhema one. It's done the job for us. We've had it for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years now. And this was the hose that kept coming off last night. So this one here screws onto there, right? So you got water coming out into the shower, gas going in for hot water, but this one here kept shooting off there, so it must be a bit soft, so I'm gonna need to get a clamp to put on there. Other, like, basically stuff we're using in this trip is 2 camp chairs, swag, Coleman gas cooker, 1 saucepan. I find these 10-litre water bottles are a much cheaper way of doing it. And if you're wondering, you can see that there, so we're at 58%, and that's after we've used air fry for dinner last night, toast this morning, and pretty much had the lights on a decent amount of last night. The top tube water gauge is down to 1 litre. It's unfortunate because I'm having to leave the shower going because of that fitting problem. Pretty much used all the water, and it was starting to chug it a bit before there when I was using some more water to wash up here. So gauge is about accurate, about 40 litres. In case you're wondering, just the standard garden hose fitting does the trick on that one there, and obviously the air nozzle will have a crack at that one the way up.